Hey family, it's your girl, Revolutionary Rika, and I'm coming to you with bittersweet news. This is our final, not only recap episode, but episode of the Critical Sense Making Sessions. Today is August 30th, 2021. So this project has been been happening for the last year. We started last year. Just to give you some context for those who are just joining or just maybe listening, I originally appeared on How Do You View You? Griffinstein's podcast on the Dark Network. And from there, we were talking and this podcast was birthed. So for the last year, I had committed to doing weekly sessions, but of course life happened. And so of the 52 weeks out of the year, we ended up getting 39 episodes. 39 episodes, and this being the 40th. And just excited to see the growth, not only in people that I connect with, but sharing their story, but willing to share, but also the critical sense making that happens when you sit and take the time to listen to other people's perspective. So I'm going to jump us right into what we're here to do, and that's to recap episodes 31 through 39. We have had some amazing guests, just some unique beings who have been with us over the not just over the past 39 episodes, but really in these last 8 or 9 episodes since our last recap. So to kick it off in episode 31, we had Aima the Dreamer. If you don't know her, she is what can I say, hip hop artist, a hostess. She has a number of titles and talents and gifts. But when she came onto the Critical Sense Making Sessions, we discussed housing instability. And so just to lift up some of the pearls that she and I talked about, where some were victims become victimizers unless they get help. So really, if you have been victimized, abused, getting the help you need so that that cycle does not continue. So we thank you for that, Aima the Dreamer. And then reading and art can be therapeutic when going through stressful situations. Absolutely. Art, man. I often, my sister does painting with her daughter, which has been something they've shared with when they need self-care moments. And let me tell you, while that is a hope of mine, it probably won't be happening because I'm not going to clean up all that paint, but reading and art is definitely it. And I'm definitely have about 1,000 books behind me that need to be read, that hopefully will be read in this next year. Another pearl of wisdom from Aima was music will empower you to overcome the odds that are against you. And I remember her saying she writes rap spells for her future selves. Like, that's real. Music will help you, music will be the soundtrack for the revolution. Storytelling can be used to center the voices of the silenced, invisibilized, and marginalized. Absolutely. That's what this journey has been about in critical sense making, is hearing from voices who may not get a seat at the table, but also who just want to share out and think through and talk through what they've experienced, what they're going through, and how what they've, their wisdom and their perspective could actually help to change our communities, right? She talked about it's okay to cry, sing, or yell to release those negative emotions. I'm right there with you. I'm not gonna cry in public, but I do hear you. Crying is good. It's good for the soul. Develop a sense of humor to make it through the rough times. You gotta laugh sometimes, because if you don't, laughing keeps you from crying. I was just telling somebody I was cracking up about my dad when he was in the hospital, and even though a part of me was afraid that he may have passed away, just the jokes and his ability to just like run circles around the hospital staff was hilarious. And so just making light even when the situation seems kind of like, has you down. Another pearl of wisdom was I just read that one, sorry. Self-reflection can help manage your stress. I agree. I think taking the time at the end of each day to reflect on what happened, to decompress, to really think through how it made you feel, what you need to say so that you can respond tomorrow is critical to growth in all human beings. The next one, movement such as dance can help process emotions. That this is true. Movement as such as dance can help process emotions. So dance is another therapeutic activity that can be done, and it's fun. Own your story and unapologetically tell it. Own your entire existence. That's big. Own it. So if I own it, I can no longer say such and such, or they're doing this to me. No, I own it. I own this. I do what yes, I get it. Doc, I get it. I am with a dreamer. I get it. Y'all know I get passionate. So don't just flow with me, flow with me. Another pearl of wisdom from I Am a Dreamer was learn to lean in all opportunities. That's real. A lot of times we put up boundaries, we put on armor to keep people boxed in, and we miss the alignment that's happening. I hear you on that. And then the final pearl from Aima was don't be afraid to ask for help and receive it. Let me tell you, if the pandemic didn't do anything else, it taught me how to receive help. Y'all don't understand. I would not accept, I was not going to tell you, I was not going to ask you, but the pandemic has taught me that when you in need and you need help, closed mouth don't get fed. I'd heard that back in the day and I learned it, but I really understood it now during the pandemic. So I just want to shout out I Am a Dreamer. Check her out on Insta. Very talented lady, very powerful story. So please take a look back, take a listen back at episode 31. Moving us along, episode 32. So in episode 32, I had the photographer come on. If you don't know the photographer, that's Don Bowden. That's my homeboy. We actually are working with coworkers right now, but we worked in community for a long time in San Francisco in the Western Addition, and we're currently working together at the African American Art and Cultural Complex. He came on to talk about humanity. And I'm gonna tell you, if it's ever been a time to talk about humanity, it's now. And so I would love to talk a little bit about what Don shared and some of the pearls he lifted up with us. Think before you engage in all situations. That's critical. Like that the power in the pause. I just heard that Dr. Allison Richardson just said that. I was in the Infinity group before recording this. She talked about that power in the pause. So think before you engage in all situations. Pausing allows you to respond and not react to situations. So Don, I appreciate you for lifting that up for me, because I just made some more critical sense from what you said. Then I heard you say, I heard Don say, when you accept the reason why things are the way they are, you will be able to move for the purpose you were created for. Wow, that's a deep one. You got to sit with that requires hard work. So I get it. But if that is like, what are you talking about? That requires a lot of hard work. And so my light and love I'm sending your way as you start that heart journey, because it is painful. But let me tell you, it's liberating. It is empowering. It is purposeful. Okay, I'm going off. That's those, y'all, purpose powwows are coming. So make sure if you're tuning in to Critical Sense Making Sessions, you want to flip over, because purpose powwows are coming in September. All right. And the last pearl from Don is we have to activate our humanity and model for others at all times. And so for me, I have to read that again. We have to activate our humanity and model for others at all times. And so checking myself about how am I showing up? Am I allowing little things to piss me off or make me mad, and I'm holding grudges with people that is really over trivial matters? Or am I forgiving and I'm loving and am I extending grace? So thank you, Don, for coming on and just talking a little bit about humanity with us. We really enjoyed you in episode 32. Moving along, episode 33. In episode 33, I had my sister, my best friend, my girlfriend, my road dog, my ace woon coon, Erica Cookie Young came on, and we talked about colorism. And we were talking about it at a time when it needed to be talked about. I guess it always needs to be talked about in America, but there just has been a lot of things happening. So I want to lift up some of the pearls that Erica shared out when she was on the podcast. So she talked about it's always a good time to lend a helping hand. Just being giving. It's like somebody gave to you, so you want to give to others. If you're a tightwad, nothing is coming in, nothing is going out. I love that, Erica. So it's just nice to be nice, right? If I know something, share it with others. And so trying to hoard all the information, we ain't doing that. I ain't got to be the smartest one in the room. If I can give you everything I've ever learned, I'm going to pass it on to you. If I can give you some tools, some resources, I'm passing those along too. I love that, Erica. Ground yourself in the research concerning an issue that is important to you. I think that's real critical. A lot of times we take a stance on an issue, a situation, and where we're getting our information from is most of the time mainstream or from just a few avenues, when we need to really be casting a wide net so we can get a bit clearer picture, a better understanding, because each perspective is going to give you a little bit more of what actually is taking place. Nobody can give you the full picture of what's taking place. And so I think it's important to research and not just go on this because I feel this way or because that's what so-and-so said, but did you research why they said that? So thank you for lifting that up, Erica. Excuse me. Give of your time, talent, and treasure to help others in need. That's real. That stuff is not just for you. God didn't give you the time, the talent, and the treasure to hoard to yourself. He gave it to you to help others. And so when I see other people who are really blessed, and I'm talking about blessed beyond measure, I'm blessed beyond measure. So I don't know why I said that. But when I do see others, I'm like, I notice right away, they're givers. They're not trying to hoard their talent for themselves or just so that they can feel good about themselves. Be a voice for what you represent. If you represent something, stand for it and stand strong. Don't waver. Be strong. 5 times bolder. I agree with that one. Like if you represent love, then be the voice for love. If you represent harmony, be the voice for harmony. If you represent humanity, be the voice for humanity. I got you on that, good. Get to know people for who they are and not how they look. Man, if that's real, and that's coming from all angles. That's coming from not just within ethnic groups or color groups or race groups, whatever we want to call them, but also with this in humanity. Like you missed the opportunity to connect with some amazing individuals every day based on these categories, the ways that society have categorized us. And so I think that is so critical to just like take 5. I mean, you can know a person, know if you're going to get along with a person within a minute or two of talking to them. So, but if you don't ever open that door, how do you know? So I appreciate you for lifting that up, Erica. Love yourself. If don't nobody else love you, love yourself. Love yourself. Y'all know how that is. Love on yourself. Tell yourself you love. Look in the mirror. You ever look in the mirror and look? I can't do it because I'm in this camera. When you look in your eyes, I'm not looking at my eyes. I'm looking down because I'm looking at the screen. But if I was to look dead in my eyes like that, what do I see? I can't see because this is not a mirror. But when I go in the mirror, what do I see? Do I love what I see? Do I love what comes out of my mouth? Do I love the way I show up and represent myself? Love yourself. Oh, sorry, Erica. I went off on a tandem. Then find a way to love the person who is treating you differently because you look different. And so that's the other piece I think that we talk about a lot, is about trying to turn that glass around and see the other side of it. Why is this person targeting me? What is really happening when something else is going on? Usually if you being bullied or targeted or picked on. So absolutely. Use it as a teachable moment to help rebuild the community. When things happen, don't brush them under the rug. Talk about them openly so that the young people can hear, so they understand not to repress. When we repress that stuff, that's how, if you don't deal with it, it gets repressed. And then when you're triggered, you blow up on people. If you deal with it and you work through your emotions, when things come up that may remind you of a situation, you will respond, you won't react. So that's just my thoughts on that. Be real, be comfortable to you. That's being authentic to who you are. Like no more of when I get here, I hope I don't piss these people off, or those people being too loud or whatever. Be real, be who you be. Hey, Auntie Willa Mae used to say, be who thou art. And that's be who he made you to be. Okay. And the last pearl from Erica was apologize for the oppression you did as well. And so there has been many times where we may have been oppressed, but if we would be honest, as human beings, we all have privileges. Even those of us that may seem like we're on the margins of society, there are some privileges we hold. And so making sure that if I have offended or hurt anyone else or harmed them, that I can go back and apologize and ask for forgiveness. Really, that I can ask for forgiveness. I think a lot of times we try to get out with these apology letters. They're fake. We're doing it. People, we see from celebrities, they doing it because of their image, right? Do it because it's the right thing to do. When you love yourself, all of these things will make sense. So Erica, thank you for lifting those up, talking about being brave and sharing your story and talking about colorism, but more importantly, giving us some tips and tools to take away so that as we move through, we do not perpetuate the same oppression on others. Thank you. All right, moving us right along. We are now episode 34. So episode 34 was Solomon Webster. So y'all know Solomon is my little cousin. I can't say, so they grown men now, so little doesn't work. So Solomon is my younger cousin, I should say. And Solomon is an amazing human being. He has an amazing light. He came on and we wanted to talk about relationships. And so, of course, when you think of relationships, people are thinking of dating and women and men, or, the gamut. No, that's not what he was talking about. He was talking more sort of about relationships with your faith, with your family, and with your health. Just the relationships you have with others. How do you show up? This is and beyond the physical, right? So Solomon talked about emotional intelligence is key when developing relationships. And if that ain't the truth, I don't know what is. Because if you're not emotionally intelligent as you get to know people, as they trauma show up, right? Because the more you go around people, the more times they may be triggered by something, the more times they start to let down that armor that they put on, that image that you have of them from that first meeting, and you start to see who they really are. And if you're not emotionally intelligent, some stuff that they do, you'll take personal. And so I had to learn that on my own too, that like, I didn't do nothing. So that ain't directed at me. That's some stuff they need to work on. So I pray for that person, right? But emotionally intelligent, if you're not, then it's like, what's up? Like you taking it personal, then y'all get into this combat, you going back and forth. So I appreciate you, Solomon, for lifting up the importance of emotional intelligence. And then secondly, you talked about relationships help you to exchange funds of knowledge, interact socially to help others fulfill a purpose, and enjoy the company of others. Relationships are more than just a physical, than sex and the manipulating and the narcissist stuff we see on TV and in society, okay? It is about exchanging. I think in the last episode, Erica talked about sharing what you have, like with other people. And so back to this idea of exchanging funds of knowledge, like, why am I holding on to all this? The person may not even know that I know this stuff unless we have those conversations. So I definitely feel like having open conversations about any and everything, right? And then interact socially. They help you to be more sociable on how to engage with people, on how to read situations, because sometimes the situation may be unfolded before your very eyes. One thing I do know is the first time that when they taking nips, we at a place and people was taking nips, that first time that eye cock and go to the side, it's time to go. That means somebody's getting ready to get drunk soon. And we know what happens when a drunk get drunk, right? So for me, it's like thinking about that, like, and being able to interact socially, read the cues, and know when somebody don't want to be bothered, leave them alone. He talked about to help others fulfill a purpose, right? So sometimes, we have mentors in our life that are there for a period to teach us this specific thing that will help us along our journey as we move toward purpose. So definitely. And then enjoy the company of just having a good time, good old fashioned fun, not everybody all mad and angry and upset and yelling at the waiters, and just enjoying that there's air to breathe, that we are alive. We are not in no jail. We are not being tortured. We are not abused. Like, we got to think about the ways that other people what is happening around the world. So thank you, Solomon. And then Solomon also told us, if people are not willing to compromise, that relationships will not work. All parties must be willing to compromise. And so I love that, because I feel like if I always agree with you, am I really just giving in to what you want? And so basically you win. I guess that's what I was trying to say. You got to be willing to compromise. It can't always be my way, because then you're not happy. And I can think you're happy because you're putting on, but if I really know you, but if I'm not stuck on myself and I love myself, I can see you and see what you need. So I appreciate that. I guess y'all, I'm making critical sense of my own critical sense making. Number 4, God is the example of how to show love. Look to him to learn how to love yourself, your spouse, your family, friends, and neighbors. That's that unconditional. Ain't no terms and agreements. Ain't no, you stole this from me, you hurt me. Like, you know what we've done to God? So I agree with that, Solomon. That is the example. He forgives. He is a loving and forgiving God, but don't get caught up with that reprobate mind. Okay. Not Bible study, sorry. But seriously, don't get caught up with that. Last one from Solomon was exposure to other ways of being broadens our perspectives. Like if you're only sticking with this one kind of way, you're only going to the one neighborhood with the one group of people at the one kind of restaurants, how do you expand your horizons? And so I think too, like really thinking about trying new things, connecting with new and different people and not being afraid, just taking that chance. So thank you, Solomon, for sharing your wisdom. Moving us right along. In episode 35, we have my sis, Latricia Scott Jackson. And I'm sorry, I got Scott because you weren't married when we were in the cohort. So I apologize. She was married as Jackson. And her episode was about posture. We talked a lot about posture in the episode. And one, developing a closer walk with God. How are you walking along this earth? Are you doing your own thing? Are you off the they call it the beaten path, but are you walking up that it's narrow. It's a narrow path. Where are you along that journey? So really developing a closer walk with God. She talked about work with a spirit of excellence. Go hard or go home. What's the point of working, just doing something to be doing it? And so I can't think of the name. It might be Colossians 3:23. Work at something like you working for God and not human masters. That's everything you do. Okay, she talked about if you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. That's been a theme throughout all of our critical sense making sessions, figuring out what do you stand up for? What are you willing to go to jail for? It was a question we used to ask. That was in my Miss Davis days when we used to be doing them trainings. Develop a posture of worship, learning how to worship God. Like that's a key to you, not only your spiritual walk, but to life. Press towards the mark and don't turn around. Now, you know that's one of my favorite verses, the high calling, which is in Christ Jesus. Keep pressing. You can't turn around. You can't live in your past. I'm gonna say you can't question God, but we do because of our flesh. But you got to keep pressing no matter what is trying to distract you. Keep pressing towards your goal, your purpose, your mark that God has for you. Search for knowledge and educate ourselves and our children to help us understand who we are. That's real. It's been not only has been erased or erased in a way where we don't know who we are. A lot of times we don't even know like the capability we have. It's deep. She talked about night will not last always. It's the darkest just before dawn. Joy is on the way. Y'all remember them periods of life when y'all went through some really hard stuff that you went through before this? You still here, you made it. Joy is on the way. When you look good, you feel good. Get up, fix yourself up, make yourself feel good. You know, that's critical in feeling good about yourself. You got to get up and fix yourself up. If I'm sitting around feeling sorry, slopping, I'm gonna continue to do that, right? This too shall pass. God will give you joy. Nothing's going to last forever. So the pain you're going through won't last forever. But then also sometimes those great days won't last. So just be prepared to always see God. And if it's painful or if it's happy days, You'll be good. Lastly, she talked about be mindful of what you allow, who you have around you, and what you do. That's real. And it ain't about hiding it from nobody. It's about being real with yourself. So I agree. Check your posture. Check your posture. Thank you, sis. Okay, moving us along. Episode 36. Okay, that was my retired auntie, my baby auntie, little GD, Auntie Sharon Webster. She came on to talk about foster care. And so she really stuck with it. And I'm going to share those 4 pearls and move us along. The first one is we can be a village for foster youth by supporting them financially. We can be a big brother or sister and fill other roles that can help them feel connected. Absolutely. The village is critical. It's critical to our own kids when parents are in the household, both parents and the full home family is involved. But it's even more critical for those who do not have a caring adult, who does not have parents who are engaged or may not even be in the house. They may be in the system, right? And so they may not have family members who they've known or they feel connected to. It's critical to help build that village for them. She talked about supporting foster youth through their journey will help them thrive in life. So being a support, well, they'll remember that. Yeah, I mean, just with young people anyway, years down the road, they'll come back and say something. You'll be like, I said that. But it's key. They really do. They really need that support to help them thrive. She also talked about the need to gather more information before deciding whether a child should be taken out of the home. We need to be sensitive to the child's needs. So understanding that abuse may look different for everyone and that what you're calling neglect may not necessarily be neglect or may be something different. So understanding that let me make sure I understand what the situation is saying to me before I just jump on it and create a situation that could possibly be worse. And check this episode out because I do share a little bit about one of my cousins who was put in foster care and then was abused there. The original was around neglect, the reason why she was placed there, but where she went became sexual abuse. So just really understanding like what is happening before you, what is it, Paul? I just said it a few minutes ago. Power in the pause. Pause and look and make sure you're assessing that situation correctly. And then lastly, she talked about foster family agencies are the best route for those considering being foster parents. They provide more resources and support that help someone be more effective foster parent. So if you are looking to apply, go through some agencies so that they give you that, not only just parental support, but other resources that are available to foster youth. So thank you, Auntie Sharon, for coming and sharing your expertise with us. And so in that same vein, I am going to stick with somebody who's doing similar work, who's also in social work. And that is my girl, Tamara Morgan, AKA Sincere, AKA she got her hands in everything. So in episode 37, Sincere came on and talked about outreach and community building with us. And let me tell you, if you want to get engaged, you don't know where to start, you don't know what to take up, she's the person. She has her hands in so many pots. She's helping those who are involved in law enforcement, who are incarcerated. She's helping the children. She's helping the transient population. She's collecting toiletries. She's doing coat drives. She's doing pamper for those who provide service. I mean, anything you can think about, she's doing. One of her pages is Melanated Harmony on Facebook. Please check out Tamara Morgan, AKA Sincere, because she has a lot of stuff going on for the people, for the community, and it's genuine. It's authentic. It's not about, I'm trying to be this person and be big and be known. No, it's about serving leadership. I'm serving from the heart and I'm modeling on what we should be doing. She shared with us that we must see the humanity in others. You cannot walk past people and think that you better, or you in a better place for them because you have a job and a house and a car and a place to stay today. The way that the world is looking, I don't know if that's going to always be the case. So you got to see the humanity in others and let them know that you see them. Oh, sorry, y'all, I got passionate. Then she talked about we must learn to go out of our comfort zone to build community with others. We've been talking about this. This is coming up about those who may not look like you in some of the other episodes I just recapped. But you cannot continue to only align yourself with people that look like you or talk like you or come from what you think is an experience that's similar to yours. We have to bridge. We gotta bridge these gaps, y'all. Shout out to Nigel Harris, bridging the gap. Third, our children need us, and we need to help them establish a village to protect, nurture, love, and support them. That village comes up in almost every episode. And us, and teaching, and learning, and who we are, and all of that is critical. It's critical to our way of life. 4, we must diversify our strategies when engaging and socializing with others so we can grow. Ooh. That's real. Just because we always did the backpack, I'm just using the backpack. Y'all don't even do the backpack no more. This way don't mean we got to continue to do it that way, right? We can diversify our strategies. And there's another way may give us way more backpacks and way more attendees. So just using that as an example. And then lastly, our lives should represent love in action. And we just talked about this. God is love. You show love. It's an action word. And so when you look at yourself, do you see love walking through the day? Do you see love in the mirror? I'm going to try to look into my eyes. You know I can't do it. You see love walking in the mirror? Do you see love opening the door for that elder person there? Do you see love paying somebody's bridge toll? Well, they don't do that no more because they don't have bridge people no more. So ain't no paying the toll for the person behind you. But in Starbucks, you can pay for somebody's coffee. So, but yeah, love, our lives should represent love in action. We should be walking love, the walking definition of love. Thank you, Sincere. I got some most from you today. Always feel empowered after our conversations. And so episode 30, I think this is 38. We had Amina James. She's from New Jersey. I can't say, I don't have no Jersey accent, so I ain't even gonna try. Okay, but she did come on to talk about spiritual, physical, emotional, and emotional health tools for people of color. Amina and I crossed paths for about 7, 8 months, maybe 9 months. We were working together at the AAACC. And so I'm so happy that I got to cross paths with this wonderful, beautiful light. She is powerful. She is on the East Coast now. And I think it is not Aruba. I can't think of the island name that she's moving to. Her family is half the island, but it'll come to me. If not, listen to the episode because she'll talk about it in the episode. Some of the pearls that she highlighted were that we all need to create experiences that incorporate intentional, spiritual, physical, and emotional tools to improve our mood and situations. That's real. And intentional meaning I'm working toward this. And I'm thinking about it, and then I'm processing, and I'm creating an intentional plan on how to incorporate all of those. So that self-care is healing the whole person and not just partial person. So I like that. I love that, Amina. We are whole human beings. If one thing is off, everything is off. We must maintain our power balance. If Amina ain't told the truth, I don't know what is. We are whole human beings. If one thing is off, everything is off. Make sure you checking your health, all your health. We deserve to be healthy and whole. Yes, we do. We deserve that. Yes, we do deserve that. We need to seek that. Research is your strongest tool, coupled with applied knowledge. But you got to do the research. Don't just let somebody, oh, this is what I did and this is how I do it. Do your own research. Your body is unique to you. Not only is your body unique to you, your history is unique to you, your experiences. So it's important for you to do that work. We all desire to win. Step aside from the pride. Oh, I love it. I love it. Sometimes, you know what? I don't got to be a winner because, you know, you learn so much even when sometimes it's just like, it's not even about the win. It was about the experience, I guess. And you learn so much when you lose that it actually is a little bit more beneficial. I know it hurts because that's the way society has conditioned us, but definitely feel like it's I gain a lot more. It starts with word of mouth. You must share tips and strategies with each other so we can all be healthy. That's real. You can't just share it, keep it to yourself. Tell me what you're doing. Like, I love water. Water is key. When I'm drinking my water and I'm getting in my 80 ounces a day, I'm good. When I'm not, I'm off kilter. So that's back to that. If one thing is off, everything is off. The last pearl from Amina is advocate for your own needs and then those around you. That whole put your mask on, then you can help somebody else. That's real. Thank you, Amina, for sharing your wisdom. And I look forward to joining you for Spree from Seed to Sprout. She's doing a workshop on that. So if you listen to the podcast, she'll tell you when the workshop is, and you can get connected to Divine Root TV on Instagram. Divine Root TV. And with sadness in my eyes. Okay, I'm a horrible actor. We come to our final episode, which is episode 39, where Nico Bermond is sharing about hip hop revolution, music, fashion, culture, and the impact on the world. And so Nico is one of my former colleagues. We worked for Collective Impact together for a number of years. We traveled the world together, doing workshops under the leadership of Dr. Human Rights Commission, Dr. Davis. Want to shout her out. And then just share some of the wisdom that came up. This conversation was really long. I knew it was going to be because Nico and I have had scores of conversations over the years where we went on for a long time. And so trying to keep it within an hour was not going to happen. So I think it was like an hour and a half. But in it, a lot of things are going to come up for you. And so we know at the beginning of, I think maybe third or fourth episode, I had Power Surge come on, and he talked about hip hop. And so just to end with the same kind of theme and topic is so awesome to see that from a different perspective as well. And to think about it as the world is changing and has changed. And as we move to whatever the new iteration is. So Nico lifted up for us. We must understand ourselves individually and collectively. Hip hop culture encompasses our whole life, our ways of being, knowing, living, and moving. It's ingrained in all of it. Hip hop is a form of resistance art. We need to use it more. There's a message in hip hop. It can change the way people think. Each generation has to be willing to understand the perspectives and experiences of other generations. And then lastly, we must live with compassion, understanding, and empathy for others. This was such a breath of fresh air, ooh, y'all, to end on, because it's real. It goes back to being the example of love, walking in love, living in love, showing up as love, caring for others in love, loving yourself, loving the purpose you have for your life. And so this year, a journey of critical sense making has been transformational for myself, for hopefully my audience members, my subscribers, and for those who were part of the journey. Every time I had a conversation, it transformed me in a different way. And I'm pretty sure those who were participating were transformed. And so I hope that throughout these 39 episodes, you were able to make critical sense with your own journey. You were able to learn something, or even to share something with someone else. And I look forward to you continuing on with us as we create new projects. Which will be coming in September. We have the Purposeful Pen, which is 37 weeks of writing with Revolutionary Rika. I'll be writing daily. It'll be a daily video, no longer than 2-3 minutes, sharing out, how I'm feeling. My writing progress for the day, and probably a song of the day just to kind of empower you or what I'm meditating on, and a tip for the week around writing. So I hope that you will tune into those. Those will be daily for the next 37 weeks. And then also starting in September is Purpose Powwow. So I have a new podcast coming out called the Purpose Powwow. We'll be inviting several guests on. There'll be a subject of the week, and we'll tear it apart. It'll have some critical sense making, of course, because we always make sense with our own journeys, but definitely a time to really just talk about purpose and powwow and what's happening and what is the purpose of this thing and how is that connected to our purpose and all the other things that purpose does. So in my final goodbye, the last voice they hear will be mine. I just want to share with you what this year has meant for me and what this journey is like, and how it is the idea of Michelle Obama's book, Becoming. You never reach it, you're always becoming. And so this is a piece of my journey that I'm glad I'm documenting it. My first year podcasting, my first year of really putting out content and asking people what it is they want, what they want to hear, and sharing my own perspective and stance on world issues, community issues, humanity issues. So if you have enjoyed the critical sense making sessions, please continue to look out for new projects from Revolutionary Rika, and then also subscribe to the channel. And we look forward to making critical sense and walking in love with you.